about to leave, already packing, come with me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about probably the biggest breakthrough in photography history, which involves a roll of film and film camera. This is my Nikon FE, and it's a 35mm film camera, and I love this thing. It is a lot of fun to shoot on, and you can never go wrong with shooting on, film. I think it's a really good thing to learn for anybody. Before film rolls, photography, it was a slow and messy process. Photography had to load single glass plates or sheets of paper into the back of the camera one at a time, and each shot was processed, and carrying all of those heavy plates around, it wasn't easy. So that all changed in the late 1800s when George Eastman, the founder of Kodak, created the roll of film. Instead of one plate, he coated long strips of flexible material that with a light sensitive chemical, and this strip could be rolled up into a single camera. Now photographers could take many pictures in a row without reloading every single time, and this made huge leaps and bounds for photography. Eastman's big idea was simple. You just press the shutter and they do the rest, or in their case, we do the rest, right? And that's what Kodak's slogan was. It was, you press the button, we do the rest. And it was true, it was at the time. With film rolls, you could shoot dozens of photos and send them back to Kodak, and they would develop the pictures and send them back to you. And now suddenly photography was no longer just for scientists or professionals. It was for everyday people, families, travelers, kids, so on. And everyone could have a camera. So coming back to the Nikon that I shoot on, I talked about how it was a 35mm film. Well, that's because it was the most famous size, which became the standard for photography and videography, or movies. And the reason why is that's generally what we see with our eyes. Our eyes are shooting at about a 35mm, and that's really close to reference. But it made cameras smaller and lighter and a lot more practical, and it opened up doors to street photography, travel photography, and even eventually led up to modern photojournalism. Think of the Vietnam War and artists over there shooting on these films. So how does this help you as a photographer today? Well, the roll of film teaches us the value of limitations, but most rolls back then only had 24 to 36 shots. And you should expect to lose at least 5 or more of those shots, because it's not where you can just go out and take, hundreds of frames. You had to slow down, like we've been talking about, and you had to think about your settings and make each shot count. And I think film is a really good thing to learn, because you have to understand the exposure triangle, and you have to understand shooting in manual. It's not, oh, I'm just going to throw it in aperture priority or TV and then just do my thing. Like, you can't do that. You have to understand all of it. You have to understand the foundation of photography. And this discipline is something we can still practice today, even with digital. So, if you want to challenge yourself, here's what I want you to try and go do. Go out with just the limit of 24 photos, just like a roll of film. And if you want to, you can be graceful and you can give yourself 3 to 4 rolls. So do 24 times 4, there's your shots, right? It's not uncommon to shoot 6 to 12 rolls of film, right? And you'll notice you'll be more intentional with every frame, because you're limited by this number. But try that and tell me what you think about it in the comments. And from heavy glass plates to flexible rolls, film transformed photography into something portable and personal, and it's the reason why it's become a part of our day, in life. Our phones are a camera. We have GoPros, all these different type of ways to take pictures, and even now, film photography still inspires creativity patience and the joy of slowing down. And I think a lot of people forget about that. I think they want to go out and just shoot all of these photos, and they call themselves a photographer, but then they don't understand core concepts or the fundamentals of photography. And so when you try to have conversations with them, you don't go anywhere because they don't understand it. And that's okay. But I want to challenge you to try it. Get out of your comfort zone, get into manual mode, and go see what you can do. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy it, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video as we continue along this path about the history of photography. And then we're going to move into talking about different type of artworks through different type of periods.
I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't